And the answer for the big trivia question, the Hardy's trivia tonight, Greg Graham's record. Greg, did you remember that? I hope so. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, folks, we are wrong. We stand corrected. Greg Graham says it was not on February 14th, and it wasn't against Michigan. It was Purdue on... I don't know the date. He doesn't even know the date, but it was 26 free throws. Now, we are joined on set here by Norm Held, the outstanding longtime head coach of the Anderson Indians, and the big night, Norm, is coming up Friday night for you, isn't it? The big retirement dinner and roast. It's going to be just unbelievable.
It should be interesting. We're looking forward to it. Some people have done a lot of work getting prepared for this thing, and it's going to be an extravaganza, I think.
Quickly, just tell us how this whole thing gets started. We'll get into the particulars about when and where and all that, but how did this whole thing come about? Obviously, you announced your retirement after your heart attack this past season, but give us a little history on this big roast for you.
Well, actually, it got started with our athletic director and our basketball boosters officers, and from there it got to Art Papella and city committee, which has consisted of several people within the confines of the city of Anderson. And it's just kind of exploded from there. We've had a lot of people get involved, and we've got some interesting people coming in for the roast, so it should be a gala affair.
Speaking of interesting people, I've got Troy Lewis, 1984 Mr. Basketball, Bill Green, Steve Yoder, the former head coach at Wisconsin and Ball State. Ron Felling is going to be there from IU. Gene Katie's going to be there. An all-star cast. And our own Ed Sorensen is even going to MC the deal. Is that right?
That's right, and that should be a fun evening. I think Ed's going to do his sports shows from Anderson that night, and it should really be a lot of fun for a lot of people.
I tell you what, there are only, as we understand it, Art, 50 tickets left? Yeah. Is that right? Art Papella here in the studio with us says there's only 50 tickets left. They're going to be on sale at the Wigwam from 10 to 1 p.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's $25 for the dinner, which includes prime rib. That's a very good choice, Norm. Highly commendable on that. Prime rib, and then the roast starts at 7:30. It's Friday night at the Wigwam up in Anderson. Real quickly, let's go ahead and roll a little bit of tape of you, of your team in action from this year. And Norm, I want you to talk a little bit about what made you decide to quit basketball, quit coaching after 32 years and 586 career wins. I mean, that's a phenomenal 586 and 236, a great record. What was the deciding factor in your decision?
I think probably the health had a lot to do with it, but at the same time, I thought the timing was right. You know, it's important, I think, that you recognize when your time is there and when maybe it's time for somebody else. And I felt I'd done about all I could get accomplished at Anderson High School, and it was 18 great years. I couldn't have had a much more exciting time than I had.
You won 75% of your games as the head coach at Anderson in 18 years, and the one thing that really eluded you is part of a pretty hilarious story, I think, about the street that they named after you up in Anderson. Tell us about that. This may come up at the roast, too.
Yeah, well, it's already come up one time. A few years ago, when all this was taking place, our football coach, P.T. Morgan, was at a place where they were doing a similar type thing, and he made the comment, you know, that Bill Green, who was notorious for his 6 state championships, had a gymnasium named after him in Marion, but that should be to no avail because I'd had a street named after me in Anderson. That was 2nd Street, in reference to all of our runner-up championships, which we never did get a championship.
Yeah. What is, I want to ask Greg this question here. I mean, you played high school basketball here at Indiana. You know about Norm Held. I mean, as a player, playing in the same time period as some of these guys from Anderson and against him and seeing his teams play, what did you think of Norm Held and the Anderson guys when you played in the late 80s, I guess?
Well, I've noticed after seeing them a few times that great teams, very well coached, and had some excellent players actually come out of Anderson High School. I always said the conference that they're in is probably one of the toughest in the state, and they had also great players come out of that conference, and they really do a great job there.
Norm, we have dug into the archives, as we did for Greg Graham. This goes back a little bit further. This, I believe, is 1981. Look at that. A few less wrinkles and a little bit more hair.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
That's a long time ago. We're going to show some tape here from 81 and then back from 1979. Look at the hairdos on some of these kids, too.
Those throws were pretty good there, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
That was Andre Morgan there.
Yeah, they could still shoot the ball. What is it that you're going to miss most about all the memories that you've had at Anderson?
I'll definitely miss the players, but I'll tell you one thing I will miss are the fans. The fans at Anderson High School have just been tremendous. You know, all you got to do is look there in the video and you see that. The people have supported us so well, and I think you mentioned our ticket situation. One thing we're doing with the tickets is we're providing $3 tickets for the roast for people who just want to come in.
To the roast. Okay.
And, you know, that's something that we're looking forward to so that everybody can be there if they want to be part of it.
1979, this is against the Muncie Central Bearcats.
That was Henry Johnson right there.
Just won the
Great
state.
baseline shooter.
Wow, that's some great tape. Boy, it's been a great career. 344 and 113 at Anderson, 586 and 236. Did you ever think you'd last this long in coaching?
I never thought I'd last 18 years at Anderson. I know that. That Guinness has investigated that already because he doesn't believe it either. It's got to go in some record book. I doubt that'll ever happen again.
Maybe it'll show up on a Hardy's trivia question one of these days. Who knows? And we will get it right if we do. Norm Held,
hey,
great to have you on SportsNuts tonight. And, of course, this Friday night at 6 o'clock for the dinner at the Wigwam in Anderson, and then 7:30 for the roast. That should be a scream. I guarantee you, if you don't have a ticket yet, you will want to get one of the 50 that are left. And we will give you a chance to win one of the tickets when we come back on SportsNet. So stay right where you are.
Does it go when you give it? Guaranteed. The new Speed Zone drive-thru, only at Hardee's.
Welcome back to SportsNet. Scott Hoke with Norm Held and Greg Graham here for our final segment as we wrap things up tonight. I have in my hand, folks, 4 tickets to the big roast and the big dinner on Friday night. A hot item. So hot, I got to put them down. I'll give you a chance to win them here. The first 2 callers will each win a pair of tickets if you can correctly answer this question. What was the pacifier, in quotes, that Coach Held carried with him for 485 Anderson Indians games? Now, I know you know, but don't say what this was. The first 2 callers with the correct answer I got to get my nose out of that shot. Look at that. Wow. 239-6666. The first 2 callers will win each a pair of tickets to the Norm Held retirement party on Friday night if you can correctly answer the trivia question. Norm, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Scott.
Greg, thanks for stopping by, man. Good luck this summer. We'll see you in the draft coming up here in a couple of weeks, I'm sure. That's it for SportsNuts tonight. We'll see you again next Sunday here on Sync.